Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
Hey, everybody. That's right. It's that time of the week. It's Tuesday, 7:42 p.m. We are so sorry that we had started late, but we say this time and time again, doing a live show is tough. And if something goes wrong, you just got to deal with it. And in that case, I don't know, my mouse went dead. Couldn't do anything. So with that being said, welcome to The Way We See It. Right here on the FFN Network. We are January 30th, 2024. We hope that your Jesus Christ, we hope your year has started off great. Let me introduce some of the boys. Starting off with my boy, Mr. D. What's happening, buddy?
Reporting for duty, Blaze, man. Let's get this show down the road.
And we got a late arrival, and Mr. Donnie. What's happening, buddy? What's going on?
How y'all doing?
All right.
Fans of Rowdy tonight.
We're gonna bring on our guest tonight from I-12 GIA, Real Talk with Real People, right here on the FFN Network. On Sundays from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., the one and only Mr. Renee, everybody. What's going on, bud?
How you doing, brothers?
We're doing well. And ladies and gentlemen, there's only one man, okay, that could do it. And I'll tell you, he talked to us earlier today, and he was an absolute testament of the power and the strength of a man that could just handle any kind of outcome from anything. And we applaud you, the one and only, ladies and gentlemen. Here he comes, Mr. B.
Gentlemen, thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much, everyone. My goodness, it's been a wonderful day trying to cut through all this shit we had to get through around here. But unfortunately, we've actually finally made it here. And I'm sorry to hear about your mouse. Next time, don't pull on the tail so much. Maybe you'll have better luck.
I get that, buddy. I certainly do. So, how are my friends doing this evening? Donnie, I'm glad to see that you came on your normal time, but not for nothing, buddy. We just started. You know what I mean? We just started the show, so that worked out perfect. Again. Mr. B has no visible body wounds, so he's good to go. Mr. D is down in the state of Massachusetts from Texas. Everybody, you know what I mean? So it's I'm glad my boy D is there.
Yes, sir.
And Renee, don't mind him, ladies and gentlemen. He always looks like he's fucking bored. You know what I mean? But he'll pick up. Don't you worry about that. Viagra works for a lot of shit just besides getting your pecker hard. So that's all I got to say about that. While I was sitting here waiting for Mr. Donnie to get back, and here he is, ladies and gentlemen. So our show is going to be based on the Middle East today. I think there's a lot of confusion on people that really don't pay attention to news. And then when you do, and you're a Democrat, you just like, oh, God, the fucking Republicans and everything's wrong in the world and the Democrats will fix it. So with that being said, we're going to touch a little bit base on a decent on a video over here that's going to give everybody a basic idea of what's happening in the Middle East. And then when we come back, our panel will discuss this. So for now, here we go.
Welcome to U.S. Army News. On the shifting chessboard of the Middle East, a strategic power play is unfolding as the U.S. launches a major offensive against the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen. In a bold and strategic maneuver, the U.S. and U.K. militaries have intensified their military offensive against the Houthi rebels in Yemen, launching a new series of airstrikes targeting Houthi-controlled missile facilities, airfields, arsenals, underground bunkers, and commanders. This operation is part of Operation Poseidon Archer, a broader campaign than the strikes launched on January 11th, and aims to decisively disrupt the Houthis' ability to launch attacks on commercial and military vessels in the strategic Red Sea corridor. The operation represents a significant escalation in U.S. efforts to counter the Houthi threat and underscores the high stakes involved in maintaining security and freedom of navigation in one of the world's most important maritime trade routes. The complex web of alliances and proxy relationships that characterize the region's political landscape further complicates the situation, while Iran's support for the Houthis exacerbates tensions between Tehran and Washington. With the world's eyes on the Red Sea, the outcome of this high-stakes conflict could reshape the geopolitical dynamics of the Middle East and affect global economic stability. Let us now shed light on the striking details of the US and UK's latest attacks on the search for stability in the region, with our exclusive analysis. US and UK launched new airstrikes against Houthis in Yemen. The United States has launched a new airstrike targeting a Houthi missile facility in Yemen, according to US Central Command. At approximately 4:15 a.m. Sana'a time, U.S. forces struck and destroyed 4 Houthi anti-ship ballistic missile launchers preparing for launch from Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen, said a statement issued by U.S. Central Command. According to 2 U.S. officials, the U.S. military strike against the Houthi targets was launched because the 4 missiles posed an imminent threat to commercial vessels and U.S. Navy ships. The U.S. military launched a new strike against 4 Houthi anti-ship ballistic missile launchers in Yemen, 2 U.S. officials said. Yahya Sarria, military spokesman for the rebel Houthi movement Ansar Allah, said that U.S. and British military forces carried out 18 new airstrikes on Yemeni territory. Yahya Sarria claimed that a total of 12 airstrikes were carried out on the Yemeni capital Sana'a. 3 more were carried out in Hodeidah Governorate, 2 in Taiz Governorate, and 1 in Al-Baida Governorate. On January 11th, the U.S. launched Operation Poseidon Archer, a long-term military operation against the Houthis in Yemen. The main objective of the operation appears to be to significantly weaken the Houthis' offensive capabilities. The ongoing U.S. and UK strikes appear to be the most violent compared to the first day of air and naval strikes. The overnight strikes indicate that the U.S. strikes against Houthi targets in Yemen will intensify and that the last joint US-UK operation was successful. While the strikes destroyed many Houthi targets, particularly noteworthy was the destruction of almost all of the Houthis' ballistic anti-ship silos. In total, more than 14 ballistic missile launchers were destroyed in the US and UK strikes against the Houthi rebels. Almost 40% of the Houthis' combat capabilities have been terminated, and the Houthis are struggling to get arms and ammunition from Iran. However, the US and coalition navies are blocking possible Iranian transfer routes to Yemen. According to a statement from a US defense official, fighter jets were sent from the aircraft carrier USS Dwight D. Eisenhower as part of the strikes. According to a statement issued by the White House earlier in the day, Vice President Joe Biden met with his counterpart in the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, to discuss a number of issues, including the safety of the Red Sea. 4 Royal Air Force Typhoon FGR-4s, accompanied by 2 Voyager tankers, joined forces with the United States in an assault on Houthi-controlled territory. The aircraft used Pavway 4 precision-guided bombs to destroy a large number of targets, at 2 military installations near Sana'a Airport. According to the United Kingdom Ministry of Defense, 4 Royal Air Force Typhoon jets bombed targets at 2 military facilities near Sana'a Air Base. The airbase was purportedly used to launch attacks on ships in the Red Sea. The United Kingdom's Defense Secretary, Grant Shapps, said, "Together with our U.S. partners, we have launched another round of strikes in self-defense, aimed at degrading the Houthis' capabilities and dealing a further blow to their limited stockpiles and ability to threaten global trade." For the time being, no injuries have been reported. Nevertheless, the UK Ministry of Defense has indicated that very rigorous analysis was used in the preparation of the strikes to reduce the possibility of civilian casualties. In addition, the bombing was carried out at night for this purpose. Lord Cameron, the Foreign Secretary of the United Kingdom, told the press that the UK had sent a clear message to the Houthis that it would continue to humiliate their ability to launch attacks. In response to a query about whether the assaults would intensify the situation in the Middle East, Lord Cameron responded that the Houthis had exacerbated it, and he was confident that the prior operations had been successful. He claimed that the Houthis' narrative, claiming that the strikes were linked to the fight between Israel and Hamas, should not be accepted. He also indicated that the United Kingdom wanted a swift end to the conflict in Gaza. Lord Cameron indicated that the UK was requesting an urgent humanitarian pause and that we want this to translate into a lasting, sustainable ceasefire.
Okay, gentlemen. Okay. So, look, all of this mess that's going on out there in the Middle East, the gentleman just talked a lot about a lot of weaponry, things like that. Now, we have gentlemen here in the panel that served in that region. Okay. And look, we could be politics about it, but we keep saying that we don't want to getting into any wars, and we predicted on this show that at some point this was going to trickle to where it is now. What happened? Did Russia and the Ukraine war fucking just go away? You know what I mean? Did that just go away? I mean, I'm gonna start off with D first, and with some logistics and some real shit that's going on there. From your experience of being in country and all of that shit like that. I want our people and our listeners to know what we think is because this is crazy now. This is two awards that we're pumping money into, man. Okay, the economy is fucking garbage. I don't care what they tell you on the news, ladies and gentlemen. All you got to do is just do some reading for yourselves. D, we're going to open up with you today. I can't hear you, bro. Hold on. Now I got you. I apologize. That was on
Yes, sir. So when I came on this topic at first, I looked at why do we have American soldiers in Syria and in the border of Jordan as well. And then I started looking at country structure, especially with Israel being a hard target now. And I'm like, damn, I thought Lebanon, I thought their government was sound. No, they got the Hezbollah ruling all of the South, so their government's weak. We have soldiers there. Why are we in Syria and Jordan at the same time? Because we're just trying to protect the country that's in there before any other riffraff gets in there. I don't want to talk about the 3 service members right now that we lost in this defense at Tower 22, and I didn't know what Tower 22 was. I think this whole mission set in Syria and Jordan was very secretive, and now we're starting to see colors. And I just want to say one thing: be advised, in Syria you have Russian soldiers there as well. And I yield back to anybody on the host on the panel.
Well, you got to remember, we were fighting in Syria, and we're supposedly fighting with Russia for ISIS. That's because ISIS is running all crazy over there. Do you guys remember? I sent you that article about the 15 different places we're fighting. You know, jihadist Muslim type stuff. We're all over Africa. And if you know, don't forget, we made that whole new, the army anyway. Not we, I wasn't involved, but the army made that whole new central command post, like Africa Command, or whatever it was. I can't remember what they call it. You remember how you used to have like European Command?
Yeah, you're right. Yep, you're completely right.
Yeah, they made a whole new thing down there because we're in like 7 or 8 different countries. We've been back in remember Rwanda? We're back in there. We've been in there for a while.
We did a little mission. We did a little mission in Somalia too, just recently.
Yeah, and we're still back in Somalia, Rwanda, all that back. We're all back in there fighting the whole global effort to fight ISIS. We're all over the place supporting everything, and that's why I say I don't know if we'll go to war, simply because if we go to war, I think Biden loses executive privilege to do stuff. Now he has to ask for permission for things. If we're just doing support of global security missions, I think executive power and executive, he can write shit off. He has more control of what he can do. So I don't think he even wants to go to Congress for war anymore. It's just all political. And once again, it goes back to what I always think about the U.S. now is, we're just playing undercover dictator anymore. We ain't trying to do all. Don't feed me this bullshit about it's for the right for, equality and liberty and justice and all that other bullshit. No, it's not, man. It's about lining pockets and having control, man.
You sound like a Bolshevik, a Russian, Donnie. That's what the Russians think, bud. That we are the underground dictator.
History doesn't lie.
Mr. B?
Mr. B.
Yeah, gentlemen, I don't know if you remember this or not, but a great number of months ago, I believe it was sometime late last autumn, we were talking about things, and we had asked where things were going to wind up going, and if we thought things were going to escalate. And I had distinctly remembered mentioning Syria, and you guys didn't seem to think that I was in the right house, but here we are. And now President Jack in the Box has his entire wet dream right in front of him. President Jack in the Box is going to sit there, and every time something like this happens, he's going to pull some kind of an executive order or this kind of decision or that kind of decision, anything at all, because why? What makes an economy go from bust to boom is war. And any time that he can possibly take and shove more of this at it, shove more of that at it. Oh, no, don't worry, by the way, Blaze. Ukraine is still there, and that's going to be happening. And these are the things that will be happening. And all of that money is going to be just going from one thing to the next. And he'll be sitting around waving his hands like Mussolini saying, hey, I did everything in the world, and look now, the economy's all come back. And why? Because every time we turn around, somebody else is getting shot to death.
Renee.
I get offended when I hear the term, we don't want to go to war. Fucking Iranians should have been wiped out in 1979 when they took the hostages. Again,
thank you.
The Democrats let them. I consider that an honor. The Democrats let him. Jimmy Carter let him get away with it. Now, I don't care what anybody says. Those 3 U.S. debts got to be avenged. And I heard today the reason like mainland Iraq is off the table is because Valerie Jarrett, Barack Obama's main assistant, her family's still there.
Iranian born.
Iranian born, yes.
Yes,
Her,
sir.
her family's member of the Iranian government. And John Kerry's daughter is there too with her husband, whose father's a member of the Iranian parliament. So I heard that's why mainland Iran is off the table. So it appears to me what they're going to do is launch a few fucking sidewinders into a few empty tents again.
Okay. So this is where my job comes in here on the show. Renee, so you're sitting here and you're listening to how many American people that we have here watching the show right now. And you're sitting here and you're saying that because Barack, as Mr. B says it, the Wonder Schmuck, okay? You're telling me that we're not going to take out fucking monsters that will kill people at the drop of a hat because, like I said, Obama Wonder Schmuck and somebody knows somebody or somebody's in a fucking family to an Iranian person?
Renee, can I answer that, please?
Go ahead.
That's the members I was telling you about, the elitist table.
Bingo.
Remember I was telling you that table?
Yeah, but when you do that,
we grabbed a couple of members on that, identified a couple of members of that.
Right. And I liked it when you started talking about that, but you did what you just did right now. You know what I mean? You brought it up, and
it's a fact. It's a fact. That's what's going to happen.
Right. It's intriguing as fuck. You know what
mainland
I mean?
Iran is off the mainland Iran is off the table.
Donnie, go.
Okay, I want to get back to what Mr. B was saying about war. Yes, because if you remember right, World War I or II, was it one? World War I brought us out of the Great Depression. Right?
That was two. World War II.
Was it two? One of them wars, yeah. It helped bring the economy out of a depression. So, yes, that is why he does that. You know, we're bitching and moaning about Biden using our reserves, but those reserves are getting refilled with new weaponry, with the contracts, because a lot of times I've seen the auctions when, on the sites or whatever, and I've been out at the ASP when it happened. They take that old ammo we got that's been sitting there that, isn't expired yet, but it isn't really going to get used anytime soon. Well, give it to the war, let it get expired so we get new. That's how it refills.
Donnie.
So Biden's going to do that, yes.
So gas is under $3 a gallon. Where do you think it's coming from? It's coming
probably from Venezuela or Iran.
It's coming from the strategic oil reserves. He's running it down.
Yeah, I know he does. And he's bought oil back in the market when it was low, and he bought it back to refill it. I know Biden's fucking up our reserves. I'm not trying to argue that point. I'm just saying economically, yes, war is great for our country. Now let's get back to what you just said about the 3 lives, and we're not going in because there's family in the Iranian government because of Obama or Kerry. Yes, that's that elitist list of the who's really running fucking shit. And you're damn right, nothing's going to happen. We're going to vow all this shit, but they're not going to do nothing directly to answer for them 3 lives that we just lost. This administration ain't going to do shit.
D, go.
Hit the whistle, the birdie whistle thing. Donnie.
Oh my God! I can't any fucking more.
I was looking.
Let's go with fucking Renee. Renee, please.
What, dude?
Go, Donnie.
Whoa!
What? Turn the fucking whistle off. Just because Davis is lost in fucking space. No, I'm serious. I really think that's what's going to happen. To answer the question, like you're saying, Blaze, are we not going to go in there because they have family? Probably so. But think again, though, too. What do we have to gain from going on to mainland Iran? What do we have to gain? I don't see much we have to gain.
Hey, listen.
Payback.
Listen.
Right.
Let me make everybody understand that's watching in this panel. The reason why I asked that question is, again, we're not going to go and do anything to take out the monsters that are causing all this shit. And the same fucking monsters just killed 3 U.S. fucking soldiers and wounded 40.
Yes, and we're not going to do a fucking thing about it, but keep doing the same old thing we're doing now that we're isolating, we're going after the targets, we're going to eliminate the resources.
Now,
But to sit there and say,
if they were serious about doing something to avenge the deaths of these 3 servicemen, they'd do like Trump did with Soleimani. They'd take out the imams or the mullahs with fucking drones. They wouldn't even put boots on the ground. But they haven't even got the stomach to do it. If they just gave them $680 billion in pallets of cash flown under the cover of darkness, do you really think they're going to kill any of them?
fuck no. Because with them family members you just talked about in them parliaments, they're probably, scraping some money's coming back to the families.
There you go.
So they're not going to do shit for this. They're
There you
going to
go.
talk all the good game. They're going to say they did the drone attacks and took out some shit, but does that really bring back the lives? I don't think so. That's where I really get upset, or I get kind of offended being a veteran, that you don't value my fucking life as an administration, even though that really
Not
fucking
one
aggravates,
fucking bit. Not one fucking
Right?
bit.
So you get a little upset about that, but I don't think they're going to do a damn thing. I really don't. They're going to talk good game, but it's just going to be nothing.
You're right. They haven't got the stomach to do it. You're right.
Okay, gentlemen, we're going to have to implement the H. Some of you have been using it, some of you have not. So if you want to get your question in or talk at any time, we're going to put that little H down there in the private chat. With that being said,
Mr. D's got his H up.
yes,
And he's waiting to be
right.
called.
I was just
not on
calling
an
you right now.
impromptu.
Calling you right now.
Yes, sir, bro.
Go ahead.
I think what the American public is going to look for on these 3 soldiers that we lost, 1 male, 2 females, is retaliation. Just old plain simple retaliation. Italians law, the Muslims play by that law. If you're a thief, they chop off your hands. If you kill somebody, they kill you. So I think we as the Americans, we need to provide Sharia law to them too as well. Because this shit is never going to stop. It is going to continue until I hit the grave, until my kids hit the grave, and their kids probably won't be in a free country anymore. So we just gotta we gotta set up these parameters. We do, and we gotta justify who the hell we are. I really believe that there's a mission set right now being discussed on an aircraft carrier where these guys are getting briefed on their targets. Will they hit high valuable targets? No, I doubt it. But they'll make a lot of flash in the sky so the cameras can catch it and put it in the press. And I yield.
Okay, Mr. B.
Yeah, I got a couple points to make over here. First off, why aren't we just going and doing the thing that needs to be done that would be right, it would be decisive, and I think it would be the correct thing to do at this point, and it would be incredibly disproportionate, which is what needs to be done, is to take and just pound Iran's entire nuclear program right down into the sand it came out of and wipe it off the face of the freaking earth. And that, I think, would finally let them realize that they've tripped over their dicks and they're playing with the wrong people. And maybe they'd finally back off. What do you think about that?
Renee?
Well, let me answer B's question before I get to my point. I think that the Israelis are going to take care of the Iranian nukes. That's my own personal.
I see you, Donald. I got everybody
based on my experience. But let me say this. The Houthis emerged as an opposition movement to the Yemen president, Ali Abdullah Saleh. He became such a thorn. I guess the Houthis assassinated him in 2017 and accused him of treason. So the Houthis are deceiving the Yemeni people, and they're using the Yemeni people.
Just like Gaza and Israel, right, Renee?
Pardon me?
Just like Gaza with the Hamas.
There you go.
See that's a similar?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on now. It seems to be the MO of these Shia organizations, these Shia Islamists. Yeah.
D?
I'm going to roll back to Mr. B, and let me put the little private chat box because I can't see Mr. B's beautiful face. Mr. B,
Yeah.
this
Go ahead.
country is confused to which bathroom to use in a public area. This country is confused about what gender they are. You think they care about bombs being dropped? Really? I mean, we are a confused culture. I am confused now. I
Right.
really am. I don't know what is strong, what he's going to do, or what's weak. Because the strong, it's neutral friendly bathrooms, and it's just war. That's all it is.
War. Ladies and gentlemen, stick
That's all I
around.
want.
Okay.
Stick around for more of The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network.
No matter what you are, I will always be with you. Doesn't matter what you do, girl. Ooh, girl, want you. No matter where you go, I will always be around. Won't you tell me what you found, girl? Ooh, girl, want you. Knock down the old gray wall, be a part of it all. Nothing to say, nothing to see, nothing to do. If you would give me all, 'cause I would give it to you. Nothing would be, nothing would be, nothing would be. No matter where you go, there will always be a place. Can't you see it in my face, girl? Ooh, girl, want you. Knock down the old gray wall, be a part of it all. Nothing to say, nothing to see, nothing to do. If you would give me all, 'cause I would give it to you. Nothing would be, nothing would be, nothing would be. No matter what you are, I will always be with you. Doesn't matter what you do, girl. Ooh, girl, want you. Ooh, girl, you, girl, want you. Ooh, girl, you, girl, want you.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network. Before I bring the boys back up on the screen, let's take a little watch.
And GOPAC Chairman David Avella. The White House facing growing pressure to hit back harder and more directly after the deaths of Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, Specialist Breonna Alexandria Moffett, and Specialist Kennedy Layden Sanders, all of them heroes, all of them sacrificing their lives for us. And after U.S. forces in the Middle East have been targeted at least 160 times since October 7th, the Biden administration, you can see all of those attacks there. The Biden administration is reportedly on alert, listen to this, for a potential attack by Iran-backed groups both in the U.S. and abroad. The president says he knows what he's going to do.
Yes. I do hold them responsible in the sense that they're supplying the weapons to the people who did it. We'll have that discussion. We'll see. I don't think we need a wider war in the Middle East. That's not what I'm looking for.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring the panel back on with Mr. Renee and Mr. D, Mr. B, and Mr. Donald. So go ahead, Donnie. You wanted to open up when we came back, buddy. The floor is yours.
Oh, that little video is some absolute bullshit. He doesn't know what he's gonna do, or if that yes to me was, yeah, I already know I'm not gonna do shit about it. And when he started dodging questions about Iran, that tells me there's something else there. There's something there that we're not getting privy to for some reason. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense to me. So you're hiding something, and if we're gonna go ahead and everybody get, like, I understand what they're saying, like they want retaliation, and they used to, when I was a kid, where I grew up, is like sangra por sangra, blood for blood. I get that, but if you look at our history of 20 years in the Middle East already between Iraq and Afghanistan, we clearly need a better exit plan before we go in there. And if my logical thinking, which, probably was shit, but I wouldn't put one American life on the line before I had a better exit plan. Because there's no way we can go through what we just went through with Iraq and Afghanistan again.
Renee?
Let me sum it up. In January of 2021, the United States designated the Houthis as a terrorist organization.
Yep.
Exactly 1 month later, fucking Joe Biden removed them from the terror watch list. So, my own personal opinion, we'll come back here and talk about it in a month if you want. They're not even going to French kiss the Houthis or give them the courtesy of giving them a fucking reach around. Nothing's going to happen. If you listen to Kirby and you listen to the mop head and Barack Obama, and nothing's going to happen. That we don't want a war. We don't want to escalate. We want to de-escalate. They're sending signals. Nothing's going to happen.
D.
I would just like to send out a little survey question out to the radio waves right now. And our number is 508-974-4231. And my question is, should the U.S. retaliate, or are we expected to retaliate? That's the question. Again, are we to go to war, or are we just to retaliate? Like Donnie says, sangre por sangre, blood for blood. The number again is 508-974-4231. I yield.
Mr. B.
I want to throw a monkey wrench into the discussion here. If I could. Okay.
A small one.
It had been opined by certain persons that, of all things, China is about had it with Iran, and they may wind up taking action. What are the thoughts and chances of this happening? I'd like to ask Renee that question.
I'm not sure Xi Jinping would really get involved on our behalf, but it would be nice to.
Not a fucking chance.
It would be
Not on
nice.
our behalf. Not on our behalf.
It would be nice to see China exert some payback, because I know they're not happy with the situation. Well, they're not happy with Iran either. I think the only thing that's keeping China in the game is whether or not the mullahs actually got a nuclear weapon.
Yeah. So Renee, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
You're saying China's helping them with the nuclear weapon, or China doesn't want them to have it?
I don't think China wants them to have it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Donnie.
I was gonna answer what Mr. B was talking about with China. The same article I read some articles on that. Same thing that China's like, hey, we've had enough of this shit now because what they're pissed off is with the Houthis and the Red Sea stuff. That's what they're pissed off about, and they're like, that's fucking with our commerce. And if you're gonna do that, we're gonna go ahead and not tolerate this shit. And, you know what I mean? So
did we bring that up too, Donnie? Before China got involved, before you read them things, we talked about commerce, how the shipping industries were going to bring the prices right. Wow, China's feeling it. Got it,
Yeah.
Donnie. Just wanted to say.
Their economy's struggling too. They were like, hey, we had about enough of this shit. So yeah, if I'm Biden, I'm sending them same signals, and it pains me to say it, but it might be the right play to do that because I'm going to ease some shit. Why not China go in there and fuck it up for us? Why do I got to take the blame?
Yeah.
I can point the finger at China, so I'm good, you know?
Yeah.
So, that's why I say there's got to be a better plan this time. And I think there's enough people in Congress that can halfway think that way to keep it, halfway straight this time, hopefully, if they do go ask for, to declare war. At least have an exit plan. And enough of this, we're going to stick around and help you rebuild bullshit. We come in, we do what we do, we get out.
I don't think. Go ahead.
Would a migrant invasion be a declaration of war?
I don't think so.
No,
Once
I don't
again,
think.
that's a humanitarian
Because I mean, look what's happening to our southern border. We're getting invaded, and God knows who they are. All we are is like this as Americans. Oh, I hope they're good people. Oh, I hope they don't bring no bullshit here. That's the security we got in that border, people. We're getting lucky and catching a couple and stuff that are on a suspected terror list. But how can you claim war on another country while your own country's getting invaded?
But
I yield.
That's a solid point. Donald, go ahead.
No, because look at what Biden's doing now. He's making an about face of some of that border shit. He'll shut it down now if they pass bipartisan laws. So now all of a sudden when it's voting time, now we're important. Everybody's important in the U.S. Yeah, nah, man. That's all this border shit they're doing. That's nothing but another farce to try to keep Joe in office, man.
No,
All right,
and I
This is
totally and look what Congress did today with Mayorkas, the impeachment hearing. He's closed for a vote to the full Congress.
Okay, guys, we're pulling away of the actual. We can blend it back in a little bit, but let's listen. Go ahead, Donnie.
No, I wanted to give to what Mr. B was saying about the nuclear bombs when
That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to get. I'm
Um,
trying to get a conversation
That's
up on
another
that here.
thing that's another thing when you're fucking with Iran, you got to figure out what's the end result of that. We don't want another Chernobyl sitting in the Middle East because we already learned that doesn't work out. So what's the end result of that? It's going to collapse on itself because you got to make damn sure you contain all that because they're enriching uranium. They're making bombs. There's no doubt about it. Whether you can prove it or not, you got pictures. Who knows? That's probably beyond levels of my secret level type shit I need to know. But
right, let me. Can I jump in here real quick? Let me explain. All right, for me, the minute that Iran says it has a nuclear bomb, all fucking bets are off the table because Israel is sending fucking F-16s in there to take that down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I was gonna term it as I was gonna use the Renee plan. Renee made mention of that before we started the show, that Israel would attack Iran
in a heartbeat.
But the nukes. I'm sorry. I'm stuck on Red Sea and commerce. I'll yield.
All right, Renee, go ahead. Continue.
I think that I think Iran already has maybe one Uh, at the most, probably 2.
A dirty bomb, right? Would you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, it could be considered a dirty bomb, not a full nuke, but they definitely have WMD.
Yeah.
It's
Do they do if we do end up going after Iran? Is Iran the type of people, the type of country that would release weapons of mass destruction
absolutely, without a doubt.
on people?
Yeah, absolutely, without a
Okay,
doubt.
give me 1 second, Renee. So Renee's yes. Donnie, you?
Oh, I think so. I think they
Yeah.
would.
D, you?
I don't think the Iran mullahs would gas their own people like Saddam Hussein did, and he gassed the Shiites because I believe it was a
Yes.
Sunni or vice versa.
Yes
Whatever.
or no, brother? Yes or no?
No.
Mr. B,
I'm surprised I haven't already.
I say yeah. All right, go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, I absolutely think they do it. Not gas their own people, but use nuclear weapons on other countries like Israel, the United States. There's no doubt there's a real good hate there. Don't get me
Right.
wrong.
Well, I was basically weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, if they got listen, I don't think call me fucking nuts, right? I don't think Iran would unleash a nuclear bomb, even if they had a dirty one or whatever. If they have one, they'd hold a lot of people fucking hostage with it. In other words, not literally hostage, but that would be their go-to fucking get some money from the United States and you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Go ahead, Donnie. Donnie's excited
Nah,
tonight.
you guys, there's another thing we're not including into this Middle Eastern conversation and nuclear weapons with Iran. Don't forget, Pakistan that borders Iran has their own. We help supply them. So, you know what I'm saying? So there's another part where we're trying to play, you know what I mean? We're still in that arena. We're just going through a proxy, no different, like the Houthis or whatever, but, it's through Pakistan. And Pakistan has already said they would not hesitate to unleash absolute hell on Iran if they tried to launch some shit towards them.
So that's the reason.
Hey, Blaze,
so that's the
Blaze,
reason. Yeah.
I picked up an analogy of what these terrorist groups do and when they go into places and stuff. We all remember Al Capone, how we'd go in there with machine guns tearing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how these terrorist groups do it. Now I'm gonna make a case in point. They all got in a little Land Cruiser, probably Toyota, and a couple of Toyota Hiluxes.
They're always fucking Toyotas. Go ahead.
No, do you know what the Afghanistan Cadillac is?
I'm listening, bro.
The damn Toyota Corolla. But as we're going, and they load up just like Al Capone, and they go to Pakistan because they started some shit, and Mr. Donnie made mention of that. That's what triggered this. And they knock it out, and they come home. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. These are the gangsters of the radical Muslims. That's all they are, is radical groups. And if you want to tie them up as mobsters and stuff, I'm pretty sure the CIA's got a nice chalkboard with lines and strings going to all and dotted lines.
That's pretty fucked up right there, bro.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I know we're on the nuclear part. I just wanted to make it just came upon me, and I know I'm gonna get Donnie's little.
Don't lose it. Don't lose it now.
No,
Come
I'm
on,
gonna
you're
get
fading.
Donnie's.
Don't
I'm gonna
fucking
get Donnie's,
fade, bro.
I'm gonna get
Don't
Donnie's
fade.
nerve on this. No, man.
All right, good. Good.
Ready for duty.
All right, go.
Let's look what these countries, how they're set in life financially. Saudi Arabia, good
They're
economy,
rich.
good. Yemen, poor.
What do you think the average?
Wait a minute. Oman, poor. Iraq, poor. Iran, poor. Syria, poor. Egypt, they're doing a little something. Jordan, they're doing a little something. You see all the countries I'm pointing out that I'm saying, oh, they're doing a little something.
Yeah.
They're all involved with the Americans, dudes. They all are.
Touche.
And Donnie,
Okay.
Mr.
Touche.
Donnie, if we leave,
You'll get that.
they'll all end up as Iran and Iraq. And you go, Donnie, your counter.
No, they won't.
Yeah, they
No, they
will.
won't. No, they won't.
Yes.
Because this
Yes,
is where I
will.
talk about planning.
Here we go.
This is where
Here
you
we go.
plan. They don't end up poor. They don't end up nowhere. They still feel funded. We still do our stuff in the channels or whatever. But guess what? All the risk is on you. I put it on them too, and I fund them just like you did to Afghanistan with the Russians. I pull our page out of the playbook and I start funding you fuckers, and I start watching from the outside. And then I get to sit over here and just tap dance around everything because I'm on the outside. You know what I'm saying?
Donnie, these Islamic states, countries, beautiful countries. Yes. Yeah, that's kind of a sad topic to bring up, Mr. B, but we will. We will. These leaders, they can't control the radical groups within their own countries, and they need our assistance, Donnie. They need the Brits' assistance. They need the French assistance.
No, I beg to differ, sir. They do not need our assistance. What we need to do is step back for a minute, let them kill each other, and then come back, and if you keep acting a fool, then we're going to wipe your little ass out. Or
Donnie,
we just got to go in there and do what needs to be done and burn the fucking jungle down. Burn the fucking shit down to the ground completely. Leave nothing there and let nature fucking rebuild.
and the people?
Mm.
What are we going to do with the people? If we destroy them, that'd be genocide.
If you're not, yeah, okay, but what is it? The exact same thing. These terrorist groups all around the Middle East and Africa and all this stuff that are affecting our lives around the globe. What do you think? They give a fuck about if they commit genocide? They're trying to do the same thing.
Yes, they are.
And they're trying to overtake. So you have to be willing to go deeper and further than your opponent if you want to win a fight, Demas. And
Donnie,
as Americans, as a nation and our laws, we are not willing to go deeper and go harder and put up with more to beat our opponent. We don't do it. That's why we keep losing and this shit keeps going everywhere.
are you done, my brother?
Yes, I'm done. I'm sorry.
No. Great show.
Don't be sorry,
Great show.
but let's go.
No,
Go.
this is my concern when we stop bombing shit. And this video still rings in my head. And it was during the Gaza situation where the Israeli bulldozers were coming. You seen 10-year-olds throwing rocks at the bulldozers, good-sized rocks. And I'm like, wow, that generation's ready to step up. And that's what we do when we bomb
What,
other
'cause they're
countries. No, when we bomb little 5-year-old Mohammed's little play car outside, that messes with their head, man. And then their culture insists on revenge. And I yield.
Mr. B. Hold on. Go ahead. We got Mr. B. Sorry, he's up there, bro. Mr. B.
I'm taking all of this in. Yeah. Okay. Great. Little jihadi Jake that be out there playing out with his trucks, pushing sand around, whatever else. And we made him and all these things. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Fantastic. Somewhere along the line, somebody drew the first blood, and it wasn't us.
No.
It wasn't us.
You can't say that. You can't say that. We're always fucking with some country, man. We're always fucking with some country. Okay? Stop making.
Well, the last time I looked,
making
I didn't fly an airplane
States.
full of innocent humans into a freaking building and tried to kill an entire first world country city. Thank you very much.
That's Saudi Arabia there, pal.
And how many Mohammeds did that take? About 12, 17? That was it? 17? I can't remember the number because that was a very tragic day.
Yeah, 17.
17 came out of Maine. Wow, very simple. Could you imagine what 50 can do? 100.
You're already here.
I'm just counting the numbers off for you, bud.
Listen, the bottom
Another
line.
500.
Renee.
I'm talking.
Renee,
I gotta say,
Renee, assess this. Just
personally, I
assess.
really don't give a fuck about little jihadi Jacobs fucking
Okay, there's your
Little-
answer from him. Go ahead, Renee.
I
little
know that.
tyke, his little tyke's car. Okay, blow the fucking thing into oblivion with a fucking nuke, and let's just fucking call it a day. We didn't start this, but we're gonna fucking finish it.
Blaze, Billy Joel, we didn't start this. You need to play this while people come out with these key points, brother.
Hey, look, that's
We
why I
didn't
fucking
start
need
the
another
fire.
engineer. I feel you. I feel you. I need another engineer for. But listen,
call in now.
yeah, call the number's right there.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Good.
Donnie.
No, are we really
Whoa.
going to be all petty and go back to this? Who drew first blood? Blah. Who started what? Bullshit. Once again, it's. I don't.
Hey.
You got to go to the what is going to be the end outcome of an action, because what we've been doing is not fucking working. If you want to end this, you gotta backwards plan and see your end result or something. And enough of the fucking bullshit and oh well, we gotta be nice. There's nothing fucking nice about war. Nothing's fucking nice about it. So stop trying to be fucking nice. Go hand out an ass whipping or taking one. But in war, when you take an ass whipping, you die. So you know what? I'm gonna go hand out as many ass whippings as I can because I ain't feel like dying today. And that's just the bottom line of it. If you can't live with that, then I don't know what to fucking tell you. That's war.
War's
If
hell.
you ain't got the fucking balls or the cojones to fucking do it, then you don't have the stuff to do it. Don't bitch about what needs to be done to fucking solve the problem. You know what I'm
Renee.
saying? You gotta
Yeah.
fucking get real about this shit.
Yeah, I'm with you. Renee.
When they pulled fucking Saddam Hussein out of that spider hole in fucking Iraq that Saturday night, a National Guardsman did it, by the way. Do you really think they gave a fuck about? They knew they were going to put him to death. Do you really think they gave a shit about what was going to happen, what the fallout was going to be? Of course not. Why should it be any different now?
Because of who's in office. Who's in office? That's why.
Hey,
And
little hint.
I really
Yeah,
want to
Donnie.
tell you, I think it's the rest of the everybody that works in that fucking, the White House, the Senate, the Congress, all of them. That is the problem, really, because I don't think they want to talk about, all this, doing all this good and all this stuff around the world and how we got to defend and help fight the global crisis. But it's nothing more than money, like Mr. B was saying.
Right, and we got a comment here from what was it, Annie Hotford, and she says
I got
he. Go ahead.
Hiroshima worked. Remember Pearl Harbor? Yeah, I do. The Twin Towers. We need to retaliate no matter where the attacks come from. I love our country. She had the heart symbol.
Yeah, I love our country. Yeah, go ahead. So anybody want to respond to that?
Yeah, I agree with her 100%.
I'd like to respond. These places we are attacking currently now, these Yemeni places and stuff. If we ruined a piece of grass in Germany just on a training maneuver, we'd pay for it. So all these little Houthis and Yemeni sites that we're blowing up, guess what? We're going to rebuild them.
No
we
shit,
are
we
going
are.
to rebuild them.
Yeah.
And getting back with Mr. Renee said about the 2017, them being on the terrorist, the little wussy of us, and this is what I heard, Renee, and it makes a lot of sense, is that the reason why Biden took them off so he can ship them humanitarian aid. I guess a terrorist country gets no assistance at
And
all.
so
Bullshit.
why
Research them, boys.
Why would
I'm cooking.
Donald.
Demas is 100% right. I read the
Hands
same
up.
type of stuff. He's right. Terrorist organizations cannot get humanitarian aid, so Biden opened them up so they can get humanitarian aid. But I was reading in some articles, there were some of those, lawyers that
Renee, I'm gonna let
used
you
to work up
respond.
in the White House or whatever and stuff like that. They were saying that was a bunch of bullshit. He could have used the fucking global crisis of famine or any other global crisis going on, and he could have gave fucking aid another way. He didn't have to take him off that fucking list.
Renee?
Well, I don't think that the Houthis of Yemen deserve any type of aid, so they shouldn't have been taken off the list to begin with. I think they were taken off the list for political reasons. Biden was pressured to do it by Obama. That's my own personal opinion. But last night,
Wow.
I got a telephone call from. I still got my connections, and they told me that any day now, Biden was going to announce that he was going after him to extract payback. I know where most of you guys are from. Mr. B and I are fortunate that we got no restrictions placed upon us. So I carry a rifle and 2 handguns everywhere I go. You know, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. They're going to hit us here. And it's all because of all this bullshit that's going on now, and us not hitting them where they are.
Mr. B.
Sidebar, thank you very much. I just want to add into what Renee was just saying. And it's not going to be just big cities or whatever else. They're going to hit anywhere and everywhere to make sure that Americans know that they are not safe no matter where they go. Even
Bingo.
if it's little rural freaking 327 people population in little Popperville or wherever the heck it is, they're going to hit it. And it's because everybody walks around and they're so damn complacent, thinking that it's not going to happen or it's not going to happen to them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more of The Way We See It.
No matter what you are, I will always be with you. Doesn't matter what you do, girl. Ooh, girl, want you. No matter where you go, I will always be around.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network with our special guest tonight, Renee from I-12GIA. Real Talk with Real People is on FFN Network on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with that being said, we're going to run this right real quick, and then we're going to discuss it.
It sounded like the administration has ruled out strikes within Iran.
Jackie, I appreciate the question. I think you can understand. I hope you can understand. I'm not going to telegraph punches here. We are not looking for a war with Iran. We are not looking to escalate the tensions any more than they already have been escalating. In fact, everything we've done has been designed to try to de-escalate those tensions.
Is it that the administration ultimately does not hold Iran responsible for these attacks, or that the current level of risk and loss to U.S. troops is somehow acceptable?
I am not going to telegraph punches for the President of the United States. I'm not going to get ahead of his decision space and how he's going to respond. We'll respond appropriately.
No answers there from Fox News. Fox News White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich trying to get the Biden administration to give some responses to this debacle. The Iran-backed militia drone attack killed 3 U.S. soldiers in Jordan over the weekend. And the Pentagon has identified the soldiers. And we are learning, as you can see, that 2 of them were younger than 25.
Whatever, man.
Okay, gentlemen. Go ahead, Donnie. I see you want to go first.
Right, that goes back to the other video and when you're talking about Joe Biden, when he's like, I got a plan, yes. And then he starts sidestepping when they start talking about the Iran. It's the same thing he's talking about. He's sidestepping because they're not going to do anything. And exactly what that woman said, that the loss of American life and whatnot is acceptable for, I guess, the whatever deterrence that they want to use and constrain, and whatever their end game is. The 3 American lives and the 40 hurt, it's worth it. We'll be okay.
All right. So I got one more, and then we can discuss. We get a 2-star general is going to put his little opinion on things here, ladies and gentlemen. So let's take a listen.
2-star Marine Corps General, the Panero Group CEO, and the author of The Ever-Shrinking Fighting Force, Arnold Panero. General, thanks very much for being here this morning. I have a major problem with this. We are supposed to have the best defenses and interceptions and technology the world has ever seen. And we see now that the Wall Street Journal, in this exclusive story this morning, says that the U.S. failed to stop the attack in Jordan because of a mix-up over the drone identity. How could this happen?
Well, Maria, before we get into what happened, why, and what we need to do about it, and I look forward to giving into those details. First, thank you for recognizing the 3 fallen soldiers, and I know that we all join in sending our deepest condolences to their families and friends. These were 3 Army reservists from my home state of Georgia, left their totally safe civilian jobs to be mobilized, deployed, to go in harm's way and pay the ultimate sacrifice. One of them was from Congressman Collinson's home district. We've seen their faces. We know their names. You mentioned them. Sergeant William Rivers from Carrollton, Georgia. Specialist Kennedy Sanders from Waycross, Georgia. Specialist Brianna Moffitt from Savannah, Georgia. And what we owe them, and what we owe the families, and what we owe the seriously wounded, and we pray for their speedy recovery, Maria, is to get firm answers to exactly the point you make. How could this happen? How could, a system that has been reliable in the past, the Army Coyote system, but we've worried for some time about Iran and its proxies with these what we call one-way drones. They've gotten faster. They've gotten more powerful weapons. They can go for longer periods of time, and we need to sort out what happened. But I can say unequivocally, one of the reasons these attacks continue is because we have not been forceful enough in our responses in the past. Iran and its proxies don't see anything at risk. And so I hope that we will change that approach and send a very, very devastating retaliatory attack.
The enemy drone was launched from Iraq by a militia-backed group by Tehran, and it struck the outpost's living quarters, where these heroes were. An American defense official said on Monday that the U.S. has yet to find evidence that Iran directed the Sunday attack. Okay.
Now, gentlemen, they're being attacked from all fucking sides, all different countries, everything. This just totally blows my fucking mind. I mean, I want to know, in the next 10 minutes, because we quit at 9 p.m. no matter what time we start. I want to know tactics. I want to know what the fuck that we need to do to stop messing up a little bit of the infrastructure, and how these Houthis and these other dudes get to the point where they can launch their fucking weapons no problem. I get it. You know what I mean? They're all mobile weapons. You launch it, you take off. That's what makes it hard to find. I get that shit. But
Take the gloves off and start fighting dirty as they do.
oh, we can't do that, man. I want
Bullshit! Bullshit!
I want fucking legit statistics. I don't want a maniac, Mr. B, saying blow him out of the fucking off the earth. I mean, I want some tactical shit. Okay, I want to know what you think we need to do.
I know what we need to do. We need to take 10 seconds or 30 seconds, just quiet, for them 3 Army soldiers we lost on Tower 22.
Well, that's
may they rest in Fiddler's Green.
That was
we didn't do none of that during the show, and that kind of upset me on my part. And Mr. B was banging on me, hey, when we're going to talk about the 3, and we even need to take a little time.
Yeah, that, like I said, that's what I was going to get to. The fact to no, I was the fact that, again, we're technically not doing nothing because someone from Obama's family knows somebody or is married to somebody or do whatever. This person, a high-ranking person, knows. Tell these families to leave.
Dude.
Okay, take your families out of your fucking country that you love so much. That's fucking retarded in itself. And leave, because we're gonna, there's gonna be some issues that are gonna go on there. That's what I would do. Renee?
So
tactical here, bud.
Tactical. Well,
yeah. Get them out, right?
I don't think tactical, there's much hope for tactical.
Yeah, but somebody's going to have more balls than fucking Obama. We all know that he's telling Biden some things to do.
Right.
And somebody with bigger balls needs to look at Obama and say, look, sit the fuck back, because this is not happening no more.
Unfortunately, the order's going to come from the top. But you know what I heard today?
I'm listening.
The U.S. Navy's recruitment's been down for the last couple of years. So
Army as well.
They are so
Then
desperate. They waived the high school diploma and GED qualifications. So now you can get into the U.S. Navy now with no high school and no GED. So
but you know what the Navy will. Go ahead, Renee. I'm sorry.
If you think tactics, the quality of tactics are going to improve. You know what? You might want to just go do it. Other people were doing earlier. Just sit down and take a good dump to yourself and ponder it, because it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
And if I could, Blaze, just to add on Renee's recruitment, is that there's 3 ways you get in the military. And I understand they drop it's physically, mentally, and morally. And the morally is the mentally is where they take that test, the ASVAB. So they're wiping that away. So you only got 2. Morally and physically. If they're taking one away, I'm pretty sure they're loosening up on morals. And that would be your crimes, your misdemeanors, your felonies and stuff. So what kind of military are you gonna get then?
Well, this is the kind of military that we're going to end up happening. All right, this is what's going to happen.
No.
Okay,
but I'm going to tell you what, though, Blaze. The military, the next I can't predict world wars, but I really believe the next big war will be fought with all robots. And I yield and I apologize.
Yeah, and I agree, Donnie. Let me just get this before I get to you, please. Here's the thing. But that's what it's going to be like. You don't have to worry about hire recruiting fucking Johnny to whip the wimp from fucking school. You know what I mean? Because Johnny spent all his time on his computer on his thingamajig here and stuff. What we got here?
I got a phone call.
So, hey, welcome to The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network.
Hello.
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 Hi, welcome to the FFN Network on The Way We See It. Can I help you?
Well, I've been listening to this podcast, and I have to say it's the first time I've ever listened. And I'm impressed that we've got a group of Republicans that are open-minded. But I absolutely agree with a lot of the things that are being said. It's like, I don't think a lot of people, not our country, a lot of people have their eyes open to what is actually going on around them. And as far as another war, I look at the kids that I see and that they couldn't possibly defend this country.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If possible, could we get your first name and maybe where you're from?
I'm Ann, and I listen to Mr. V because I used to be from New Hampshire. And right now I live in Florida.
Okay, wonderful. All right, Mr. B. There you go.
And spot on. Thank you for the call. Very good points.
So, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And it's because of Mr. V that I watch this podcast, because I like to tune in sometimes to his effing cooks on Facebook.
Yes.
And we used to keep in touch through messages, but things have happened in my life and I just haven't. But I happened to look at him tonight and I saw that he had a podcast and I was like, I've got to listen to that.
Oh,
so thank you guys, and I'm glad you're bringing attention, all of you, to what's going on. And I just pray that more people will start to listen, and I'm going to pass this site on.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Annie, spread the good word, Annie. Thank you so much for calling, and God bless you.
Thank you, and God bless you guys too, and God bless this country.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Have a good night, Annie.
Have a call anytime. Anytime you want to call in and voice your opinion, that's what FFN Network is all about. We just want to give everybody a voice, and we want to talk about the things, we want to talk about the things. Yeah, you might hear the talking point on the news, but we also like to go a little bit further. And thank you very much, Annie, for your call.
I don't believe half of what I hear on the news, because this whole border stuff is just absolutely ridiculous, and you can't trust news people anymore.
No,
they tell you what their opinion is, not what's really going on.
And that's the reason for the number, Annie. So people like you can call in and you can say what's on your mind. And again, thank you so much for the call. We hope to hear from you again. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
All right, so that was interested in Donnie. I heard you mumbling in the background there. So you go ahead, pal.
No, I was going to answer Demas's question about what kind of army and what kind of armed forces we'll have when they start loosening on the morals. You'll have the same one we have now, because let's not forget the same thing happened with Iraq and Afghanistan. Those same standards got lowered so they could make people come in or let people come in.
No, you're
it's
right.
the same
Donnie.
thing.
No.
And now some of those that stuck around, they're getting into more senior leadership positions. So that's the army you're going to have. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Whoa, but okay, Donnie, but let's let the public know that non-high school graduate kid, his first day in the army, within a couple of years in the army's going to educate him. And if it's a high school diploma, he will get a high school diploma. And if he wants to advance to college, which I'm pretty sure he will, and would be won't say antagonized, but fucking drawn to it because of the promotion abilities. So we'll get a smarter kid. But my concern wasn't so much, and I speak to this from the heart because I was an Army recruiter. Nothing I was proud of, but I did the job. And it really hurt when I used to have these kids come in with no high school diploma and they want to talk to me and crying and stuff, and all they had was a GED. And I kept the 5x8 cards of these people, and I had like 45 names. And when they would open the GED, these kids would be there quick and they would do better than a high school kid on an ASVAB test. And I yield.
All right, Mr. B.
I just am at a loss here to even consider thinking about these, whatever it is that they're going to be bringing in, that they don't have a GED or a high school diploma. They're going to go inside the military, and because of what they've gone through with the education system, are they going to be expecting to have, unisex bathrooms and crying rooms and all kinds of things like that, and whatever else like they've been pansy ass in the school system?
Yeah, that's a good fucking point, Mr. B. You know what? Yeah, is that what the military is going to become? That's a good, we have three gentlemen here on a panel that can literally answer that question. I mean, really, look around us. Look around us. Now you don't have to have a GED or a high school diploma to get into the military, okay? We're going to be so desperate that...
Donnie, Blaze.
Yes, we're going to be that. We're going to be that desperate.
No,
we're going to lower them standards so we can fill the ranks because we're going to need them. That's what they're going to do. And I think for what I had to learn in basic training, what I remembered, and what the common stuff that even when I've been out 10 years now, is still not talk to people. It's still kind of the same. You don't need a high school diploma or a GED to learn that shit. It's muscle memory at some point. The way the training goes, it becomes muscle memory. So don't act like it's some big deal, because I've known a guy, I worked with a guy, civilian guy out, he helped write a logistics system for the Army, and that man had a GED. So we misplace value of education anymore. It's just overrated and it's overvalued.
The problem, Hayseed, is that critical thinking is lost. It has been lost for the last at least decade in education. Children aren't being taught how to do any form of critical thinking.
That's all right.
Because they say, what? Point towards the computer will do it for you.
And something, we'll take the dummies and we'll make them smart. We'll make them real smart, Mr. B. You don't need to be a rocket.
Nice.
You don't need a rocket science degree to drive an M1 tank. It's very similar to an automated PlayStation 4 or 5, whatever the hell they're playing. I'm serious. It's not rocket, but hey, let's not forget, we're going to need them officers, them West Point guys. And they're the ones that are going to be challenged. And them young NCOs, they're the ones that are going to have the challenge. And I think they could pass the test. Go ahead, B.
Mr. Renee?
I think it's the dumbing down of the United States military by the establishment on purpose, so they could have total, full, and unabated control.
I think what you're getting at, Renee, I wouldn't say that's focused on the military. That dumbing down I think that's broad-based society that, the upper elites or, the people that sit at the table like maybe we discussed earlier, that's their agenda for society. Because, I talked to a guy one time, he made a very good point. When you run out of toys and you run out of places to jet around in your yacht and everything else, what else do you have? You need to satisfy an itch. Well, control. Control is a very dangerous instinct or nature that it's in our DNA for control at some point.
Donnie,
how far you take it. You know what I'm saying?
Donnie, do you want 8th grade graduates making command and control decisions that are going to affect the lives of battalions?
I'm not worried about if they graduate high school because I know by that level they've been better trained.
I
And
get
they're not getting up to that battalion level without having some intelligence. I
get
know from serving we thought they were stupid, but they had some form of intelligence.
I get what D and Donnie's saying, that the Army, they're going to give these kids education. It's going to be part of their fucking training. So anyway, so that's more tax dollars, right? Because now you got to do that.
Hey, the Army also got a plan that they're letting the fat boys come in and they send them down the Fort. Used to be Benning, now it's Fort Moore because Fort Benning, I guess he owned a slave or two during that time, so they X'd that out.
They had to change it. Yes. Okay.
And man, that's bullshit because I just lost my train of thought on that.
I'm sorry,
but
brother.
no, they'll go
Fat
down there
kids.
to lose
Yeah,
the
the
weight.
fat kids,
They'll go down there to lose the weight, and then also the kids that can't pass the ASVAB that are high school graduates. The Army's taking them also for 3 weeks.
Right.
Now, you could, if we have any older listeners, they can relate this to the Vietnam era when Hispanic soldiers were drafted into the Vietnam Army. They were given ESL, 2 weeks. English is a second language. And I yield.
So my thing here is that getting back to joining the Army is fuck him, man. I'm gonna kill my kid if I'm getting sick. I swear to God. Anyways, so for me, everything that I have here, right here in front of me, I call it my station because that's what it is why do you think they want drones, man? Unmanned drones. Why do you think they'll teach these fucking kids to fly these things from a room? Okay, number one, hold on. Okay. You know, and we're gonna have a little piece on this on the next show. Fucking not weaponry, the weaponry that we have. Anyways, the technology that we have is insane. What I'm trying to say is a majority, excuse me, a majority of these men and women, okay, are going to, be sitting like I am, with fucking 3 screens in front of them, a board, and they're going to control that unit. They're going to control that set of drones. You know what I mean? And I agree again with D and Donnie. Yeah, they're taking away the education part, but part of their training will be educated. I bet you they'll be like, hey, look, yeah, you're in the fucking Army, but you're going to go get your GED. That's going to be part of your fucking training. You know what I mean? And that's it, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And it's not a yes or a no. It's you're going.
Well, right.
That answer doesn't happen.
Right, Mr.
Oh,
B.
man.
I think you're giving them too much credit, but that's me.
No. That's all good.
Yeah.
I'm only saying it. Listen, guys, I'm saying it because we know it's true. I mean, down the road, these fucking kids, look, okay, you don't gotta listen. I know a lot of fucking dudes, okay, that don't have a GED or a high school diploma, but could probably fucking be a leader in a group or something. You don't have to know your fucking history in order to be smart enough to go fight war. I couldn't get in because I had a bad eye, but my other eye I see fucking 20/20 out of. You know what I mean? So I could read, I could do this, all of that, but that's why you don't let me go. Fuck that shit, man.
Anyway,
I wish I was fucking 20 now. Shit, no high school diploma, no fucking nothing. You know what I mean? They say, oh, Mr. St. Pierre, you fucking, your vision is a little fucked up. I say, yeah, but I'm queer too. They'll probably let me in then. I don't know.
Donnie.
Go, Donnie.
No, you're over there. There you go with the whole, gay thing, man. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, when the bullets start flying, nobody gives a shit about that. Nobody gives a shit.
Donnie, we've had that fucking conversation, and I agree with you. 100%. I agree with you.
But let's just everybody's
That's
worried
just
about the
me,
army.
Donnie.
What?
Let me make you understand, please. Then you can talk. That's just me being upset at the fact that I couldn't get in when I wanted to. But go ahead.
Right, I understand. But what? We're worried about building an army, and what are we going to defend? Because just like when Mr. B was saying earlier about them want to make sure they hit you everywhere and they get you all the small towns, big towns, little towns. They want to make sure they hit you everywhere. That's a fear tactic that
Get that
terrorists
H up
use.
there, Renee.
And I
Go ahead,
mean,
Donnie.
what are we defending, and what are we defending against? Because I did read an article about Russia and Ukraine right now. They're starting to run out of room because they can't advance neither side because of drones. So now technology's kind of maybe halting it a little bit because they can't defend against all the drones. They're just so cheap to make, and they're so easily put to, with weaponry attaching to them. It's just real
Mr. B,
easy.
I see
I
the
just
private chat, Mr. B. I see. D, hold up. Go ahead, Renee.
Quickly. Listen, you're not going to get me off. You're not going to get me to budge on the diplomas or the GEDs because all you're going to get is a bunch of Bo Bergdahls. Today, I happen to read that the FBI arrested a bunch of Hells Angels that were recruited by the Iranians to carry out assassinations in the United States. So,
all right, you lost me. You faded out. So the Iranians hired some Hells Angels to do some assassinations in the country?
In the United States, yeah. The FBI arrested some of them. So that's what your uneducated is going to get you. It ain't. I don't buy the bullshit. It's going to make matters better. It's going to make matters worse.
Well, we're going to have to see. Unfortunately, Renee, we're going to have to see because that's what's happening.
Hey,
So
and I want to make one point just to add on to that Russia and Ukraine shit. This drone technology, these are new tactics that we are developing. All these armies are.
Yes.
Because I left the army scene in 2021. I mean, I wasn't in the army. I was just working with them. And this is all new, these drones.
Yeah.
The scope of warfare has changed constantly for the last 100 years.
Right.
Back in the time of the First World War was the first time that aircraft were largely used in any form of combat.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what it's.
And then it's gone from those little bi-wing things covered with fabric to things like a P-51 Mustang to the F-16, and now the technology has gone over to that after the push button rockets and so forth that were getting fired or whatever else. Yes, they still have their ground wars. Yes, they still have the foot soldiers, but largely the technology to keep people out of getting harmed and inflicting harm on the enemy is getting expanded. So yes, you're going to see this. You're going to see
Right.
this.
It's easy. And someone had mentioned that these drones are very cheap to build. So it's easy. You build a drone and you sit back fucking 10 miles behind enemy lines and you just fly this fucking thing in.
Blaze, if I give you a scenario, if I give the panel a scenario where they I would like them to know if this vehicle is real or false.
Okay.
This
go ahead.
This vehicle is a tank.
All
weighs around 36 tons. It's got one operating table for 3 people, a captain or higher that's a surgeon. He can perform minor surgeries, i.e. appendix, gallbladder. He can do a gallbladder in a controlled environment right behind the battlefield within a couple of miles. Does this vehicle exist?
Yes.
That was a good guess. I kind of gave it
No,
away.
it
The
does.
technology we have now, even in the battlefield, when it comes to saving lives, and I'll say the company, it's BAE Systems.
You can put,
man.
you can perform surgery with this vehicle if you needed to.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, no, I seen it.
Yes,
like on.
And the vitals are sent to the local MASH hospital that's supporting your battalion.
Right, what you're on your way to. I seen it on the History Channel, modern weapons type of fucking
Yes,
bullshit.
yes.
Anyways, and I seen something like that. I couldn't tell you what the name of the truck was, but yeah,
The point I'm only making.
it's a mobile hospital. It's incredible.
It's on a tank. I started in 1983 seeing all these vehicles and stuff and working with them. And the back in 84, 85, when I woke up in the Army, I'd never thought that I would see vehicles supporting a soldier on the battlefield like I do today. It's amazing. It's
right. So, I'm not speaking for anyone in here at all, but I would like to say that I think, that we're all in an agreement that, not having a fucking GED, go in the Army or whatever. But,
no,
I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but I gotta go with what Donnie and D said as far as the Army, the Navy, or whatever, making sure that these kids got an education. And I think if the kid he or she is really fucking stupid, then they'll send them on their way. You know what I mean? The Army, the Marines, the Navy, the fucking Green Berets or whatever, they're not gonna put somebody in charge of something. No way, no shape, no how. If you don't know what the fuck you're doing, is that agreed on?
I hope that no, because you just triggered a point with me, and Donnie can relate. I hope these guys that they do send to these places, and if they don't pass when they, go back home, they're entitled to nothing.
Okay. All right.
Donnie, do you agree?
Because they got to get dishonorably discharged. If they're pushing you out, it's a dishonor.
But no, I don't even think they're on an enlistment yet. They're on a reserve commitment for this training.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of that we're not.
Right.
They're
I get
getting
you.
paid for the time
So
they're
that's
at the
even
training,
better.
but that's it. It's like a job. They go, like they went for 4 hours. They get paid for 4 hours of, their time or whatever. And they gotta meet certain things to do it. They still got some programs like that. Yeah. Can't remember what they're all called.
Well,
But
I don't know about you folks, but
they're not a soldier though.
I gotta draw the line at this thing. We'll go into the Army and we'll give you gender affirming surgeries and things like that. I'm sorry. No.
Well,
thank you very much.
Take that shit up with the White House administration and who makes the federal laws. Because the Army's just following policy. That's all they're doing. Once again, we don't.
I'm pretty sure, Mr. B, 100% that, there's a lot of people in the Army, the Navy, the Marines, blah, 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 that are not happy with the fact that they got to do this. But like Donnie just said, you know what I mean? It's fucking policy. That's it. You do what your commander tells you to do, and that's the end of it,
I got something to add. And this is in Mr. B's defense. But a lot of that gender shit and all that shit, that starts at the DOD. Them little doctors and never walked in the office, but they're on the payroll and all their happy ass do. They look in front of the computer. Look
that's something I disagree with.
No, but those are the ones that started. Joe Biden doesn't come and say, "Yeah, I want genders, change." No, he's influenced, and it's influence crawls.
Then it trickles down, right?
Crawl.
Join the Army and lose your dick. Okay, great, beautiful.
Jesus
Christ. But some do, and some want you to pay for it.
Fucking Renee Pumpkin time.
That's the deal.
All right, so look. Here's my deal.
Pumpkin time. I love that.
Look. Can I say something about transgender?
Yeah, you got
stuff? Let me tell you how long that's been going on in the Army.
You got 30 seconds. It's been going on forever, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's been going on for 10 years because I had the same problem standing in front of formation. I called one person the wrong name for about a week because that's all I knew was his name was Sergeant so-and-so, but we got back from Kuwait and all of a sudden she was Sergeant so-and-so. So that shit been going on for a while. And yeah, the Army was paying for the daggum hormone pills and shit. Got them from fucking medics. Like when you go in there and get some, codeine or whatever, aspirin for your fucking headache. Same shit.
Donnie,
right.
you inspected some gay men in your life, and you don't even know.
Yeah,
I know that.
that's for another show. But I get what you're saying, Donnie. It's just it is. It's fucked up. With that being said, I'd like to thank everybody that tuned in to tonight's show. I'd like to thank Anna for calling in and voicing her opinion. With that being said, be safe, be kind. If you got it, give it. Donnie, go.
Just however we're connecting, thank you. I know my lighting's bad. I got one more Tuesday night game, and then I should be able to get back to better things. But think positive, do positive everywhere you can. We'll see y'all next week. Thank y'all for coming on.
Renee.
Guys, great show. Pleasure being with you. Great topics covered. A lot of information out there. Let's keep up the good work. It's our voice that educates people.
Mr. B.
Great show. Thank you very much again for having me in as a panelist, and to the family and survivors of those three soldiers. All of us here at The Way We See It truly do give our deepest condolences to you all. Renee, coffee sometime soon. Mr. D.
Yes.
We'll hear from you soon. And thank you, Blazeman.
Ladies and gentlemen, good night.
Peace out.
How do you get this?
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories,